Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead. Today I'm here with Matt Fullerton, our endangered species biologist at the Wildlife Department. And Matt, when I tend to think about endangered species, certain ones come to mind, like whooping cranes or, the bald eagle, which was on the endangered list, which is not anymore. But you deal with a whole lot of other species than just the big ones we tend to think of.
That's right, Todd. So we actually have 22 threatened and endangered species in Oklahoma, and one of those is actually an insect, and it's called the American Burying Beetle. And it has a really interesting life cycle. And so it's one of 7 burying beetles that we have in the state, and they're very colorful, very striking red and black coloration, and they actually will bury a carcass underground of like a small rodent or a bird, and they'll lay their eggs in that carcass and raise their young in that carcass.
That's fascinating, and to think that since they're underground and even nocturnal sometimes, that there could be beetles out here in a field like this that most folks are never aware of.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is a species in Oklahoma that a lot of people would not even be aware could be on their property, just because of their secretive nature and their nocturnal nature. And so what was really exciting is that this past summer I got to go out with an environmental consultant named Andy Midick and actually see one of these beetles in person. So Andy, tell us what we're doing out here.
We're going to be setting a trap to attempt to capture American burying beetles, a carrion beetle that is sometimes found in Oklahoma. These are what we refer to as aged chicken gizzards that I've set out for 2.5 days now.
Okay.
To simulate a rotten dead carcass that would attract the beetles.
Okay, so these beetles are like honing in on that scent, thinking it's a dead carcass, and they are, so what are they going to do once they reach the carcass?
If it was an actual carcass, and they may forage off of it just to eat something or to breed, they would find a suitable size rodent or bird and take that and bury it underground.
Okay.
And that food carcass would serve as a source of nutrition for their broods as they raise young.
Now this is a beetle that a lot of people probably aren't even aware of that we have in Oklahoma, right? I mean, aren't they like, pretty big and impressive and colorful?
They are also known as the giant carrion beetle. Burying beetles are found worldwide. However, here in Oklahoma we have 7 species, and the American burying beetle is the largest of those. It's very noticeable difference in markings and things. We caught them about 5 miles north of here last week. Caught them 10 miles southeast of here last week as well.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure there's a population here on the WMA.
Okay, and so this kind of habitat out here, we kind of have this cross timbers habitat, kind of mixed grassland, forest.
Right.
Is that kind of what you're looking for?
No. Typically what I look for is what you see here is more of a native grasses with a large variety. When hay ground starts in and they start spraying for weeds and things, you become more of a monoculture.
Okay.
And that seems to affect their habitat use. And once the habitat or the vegetation is shorter, the soil can dry out and the temperature of the soil can increase. And that seems to push them away as well. So they like taller grasses for resting and foraging areas.
Okay, and so because the species is so dependent on carrion sources, it also obviously needs a healthy, like small mammal and bird community, is that right?
We need cotton rats and things like that.
Okay.
Quail. It's widely believed that they were once very dependent on the passenger pigeon, which is long extinct.
Okay.
And that may be one of the reasons for its decline. Since these are so nocturnal, they are very temperature sensitive. If we have them in here, the sun won't hit it and heat that bucket up, because that is the one thing that contributes to beetle mortality while we're trapping.
Now, so while this trap lays out overnight, there's quite a bit of competition that goes on between these different carrion beetles, is that right?
Right. They'll all be attracted to the carrion bait, as well as possums, raccoons, vultures, dogs, some parts of the state, bears.
Okay.
So that's why we stake it down, is not only keep it upright in case of wind or anything like that, but it makes it more difficult for scavengers to pull it off and get to our bait. This is actually, it seems pretty simple, but it's actually a pretty effective method. I'm a consulting biologist for various industry developments. One of the things that I do is go out and survey an area to try to trap American burying beetles to help a development and a developer to better estimate or assess their potential for impacts to a federally endangered species. I grew up in the woods hunting, fishing, and biology was the only thing that I was ever going to do. I think we'll have a pretty good site here that on this hillside with the wind patterns. It should drift down in those bottoms and we should be able to attract them in. The trap works for a half-mile radius. The beetles can sense my bait for up to a half-mile away as they fly along in the evening. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here.
Well, that's great. Well, let's go check out another site. So the American burying beetle is a federally endangered insect that occurs in eastern Oklahoma. Its Latin name is Necrophorus americanus, and one thing interesting about its name is it's American burying beetle and not burrowing beetle. And so, we think of an animal that burrows, we think of like a mole that's burrowing a tunnel or potentially a gopher. But the burying beetle is called the burying beetle because it actually buries carcasses that it finds. It buries them underground, so it excavates basically the soil out from under that carcass, buries the carcass completely under the soil. So Andy, obviously the smell is quite putrid, very pungent. Now, why is that important?
I try to maintain an imitation of carrion of fresh dead, not rotten, because while they could be classified as a scavenger, they're really looking for a fresh carcass. In certain periods of the time of year, they're looking for a fresh carcass to raise a brood on. So I like to try to have a mix of a little more rotten but kind of fresh dead to make a carrion to put out an aroma for suitable forage material and for suitable brooding, rearing material.
So definitely this is a limiting factor for this rare beetle, is that it is trying to find a carcass in the wild that is kind of within this time period of freshly dead but not rotten, like you said.
Correct. It's looking for one of a suitable size to raise its young on, and also one that's not too large that the beetle can't manipulate, carry, and bury. Because as they move in pairs, they are limited. They can't bury, say, a rabbit. So it would be a quail or a cotton rat or something of that nature, maybe a young rabbit, but it would have to be of a certain size. And the parameters would have to be correct. If it's too hot outside, obviously the carrion will rot faster, and that carrion has to persist as a food source for those young. I grew up primarily in western Oklahoma, and luckily in this job and through other things, I've been all over the state, working from everywhere from here in Osage County, down along the Red River, out in western Oklahoma. I've been pronghorn hunting out in Cimarron County. The diversity of Oklahoma from a biologist standpoint, there's a little bit for all of us here. It's amazing that I can go from one job one day working on high, dry plains and that evening be in McCurtain County where there could be an alligator.
So one of the important roles that the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation plays is in the cooperation of monitoring and recovering threatened and endangered species. And we work with other agencies like the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the U.S. Forest Service to help monitor these populations. And so we have 20 federally listed species in Oklahoma, and the American burying beetle is one of these species that you may not know about. And so a lot of people are familiar with sort of these kind of larger charismatic species like the whooping crane, especially the conservation success story of the bald eagle or the peregrine falcon. But the American burying beetle is the only endangered insect in Oklahoma. And so just due to its secretive nature and kind of wide distribution with kind of low densities across the landscape, a lot of people are not even aware that we have this fascinating insect in the state. Our wildlife management areas play an important part in helping to recover the American burying beetle, and so a lot of the wildlife management practices that we do on our wildlife management areas are beneficial to the American burying beetle, in addition to a lot of the game species that we hunt and fish. And so practices like prescribed fire, selective thinning of forest, invasive species control, all of this is very important to maintaining suitable habitat for this endangered species.
So yesterday we went out and I plotted out some potential trap locations, drove around, assessed the area, tried to find the most advantageous place for us to place the traps to put us in the best position to capture an American burying beetle. Once we set the traps, got them set up and baited, and where they need to be, we left them for the night and came back this morning to see what was in them. That consists of just going up, taking the top off, looking in and counting the beetles that are in there, identifying them by species, or even not by species, but if they are attracted to carrion, to show that our trapping method was effective that night. We've got quite a variety. We've got I see some tomentosus, an American carrion beetle, and a pustulatus, which is another of the Necrophorus species, and several other unidentified carrion beetles that would be attracted to our traps. Well, the classic markings for burying beetles are orange and black. And most burying beetles, to one degree or another, have the bright orange markings on the wing covers. And this is another species that we very commonly encounter in Oklahoma, the American carrion beetle, which looks like a little turtle with a nice yellow marking on it. You can see that on the Necrophorus is much more robust. They tend to have a much larger head, much larger mandibles. And then the clubs on their antennae are much larger. Just quite a variety of
plethora.
Things that might come out. So my bait is working. We just haven't found an ABB yet.
So one of the things that we experienced last night was we got a little bit of rainfall, which could have affected how the scent traveled across the landscape, how the beetles were able to hone in on the traps. And so certainly with a combination of the different vegetation types and potentially atmospheric conditions and rainfall, that could have definitely affected our trapping success on this trip. All right, let's see what we got.
Well, we've got a bucket full of stuff, but no ABB. And again, we're down in a heavy wooded area and caught a bunch of tomentosus beetles.
Any orbicolas in there?
Let's go look at, oh, I believe there's one right there. You can see how we have to move fast, so you learn to see these things fast. That is an orbicolus right there.
So quite a bit darker.
Well, this is an old one. They typically, it can depend on other factors, but they typically lose that brightness to their coloration. You can see the one on the right, the orbicolus, the spots on the wing covers don't touch, and on the tomentosus on the left they do. And the marginatus is the same way, they'll touch on the marginatus. And so that's a giveaway. And you can see the clubs for catching the aroma on that orbicolus and hinting. Score. A big one.
Oh, beautiful.
And you see how the coloration, how it's kind of a faded orange? This is an older one.
So this is a beetle that emerged as an adult last year and then overwintered?
More than likely. Yes,
Okay.
I'd say so. So now, these are, like I said, these are very susceptible to heat.
Yeah.
So we'll do this in the shade. So now you can see that's about an average size tomentosus beetle. a decent size ABB and a normal size redline carrion beetle. You can see why we call those, an alternate name for the American burying beetle is the giant carrion beetle. Considerably larger animal.
And they have to be that large to be able to bury their prey.
This female could pair up with the male and bury a cotton rat, which is a pretty good sized rodent for what you would think a beetle would be manipulating, moving around, burying underground. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what good is this beetle? What does it do for us? Why should we protect it? One of the main reason we should be protecting it is the same reason we should protect all species, is that they're all a valuable resource in one way or another, and we can't break this chain because our ecology is a huge cycle. It's all intertwined. But as for what the species itself does locally and immediately, as you saw, this is a large beetle that is capable of burying a rodent. On one rat, the beetle could raise 25, 30 young, and we could have 25 or 30 more of these beetles. Or it could lay in the field, and a pair of flies could lay eggs, and we have 400 more flies.
So we've got a nice variety of insects. Oh, yes.
Right. We have an American burying beetle. Go ahead and dig it out.
A little smaller than the last one we had.
It's considerably smaller.
Yeah.
You can see it's more of a solid square above the mandibles. That would be a male. And this is a below average size American burying beetle, that what we would normally catch. I'll show you that this is closer to the orbiculus size and would be competing against the orbiculus beetle for carrion.
Yeah.
This is about what I would call a normal size orbiculus beetle.
There we go.
So you can see that when an ABB is not as large as the other, it's going to compete directly with this other species, which makes it less advantageous for finding a suitable brood carrion piece. The color patterns will vary. I've seen some that one whole wing cover was almost orange.
Oh, wow.
I believe that was an orbiculus. It was just kind of a mutation or something, just an anomaly. And those things do happen. Overall on the ABB, what we look for in there is that orange pronotum or shield behind the head. While all burying beetles may have the orange and black, this is the only one that has the orange pronotum. This is actually, it's a pretty full bucket of burying beetle.
Nice. Good haul.
I don't know how many I've caught. A few hundred maybe, I don't really know. It's always exciting to see them and to see what condition they are, and am I gonna learn something new or see a new observation. It's always an experience. One of the neat things about the American burying beetle is 30 years ago, when it was first listed, it was known to be in 4 counties in Oklahoma. The known population here was very small. And I say known population because no one looked for it. We have been so busy with doing surveys for the American burying beetle for one reason or another. We found that there's quite a population here. It's covering more and more counties. I believe we're up to 30 or 32 counties now from the 4 that they're known to be in. It's a very interesting species to work with, and here in eastern Oklahoma, it's a big part of the landscape.
So Matt, if folks think that they've found an American burying beetle, then you have some special instructions for them.
That's right. So if the public would like to report an American burying beetle to us, we would request that people send a photo, preferably a full body photo of the insect, and then they can either contact our wildlife department headquarters or report it through our various social media platforms.
And I'm assuming that the closer the better on that picture, right?
Oh, definitely, because a lot of these insect species are very similar. So yeah, as good a close-up picture as we can get.
Great. Thanks for all your information. For all of you, we'll see you right back here next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.
Fishing, hunting, wildlife management, resource protection, habitat conservation, public outreach, and education.
It's what we do.
It's what we live for.
Simply put, conserving wildlife literally means the wise use of wildlife. And that's at the root of everything we do. Oklahoma is one of the most species-diverse states in the nation. Making sure opportunities exist for hunters, anglers, and all those who appreciate wildlife is not only our job.
It's our passion.
We are your Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation. From sunup to sundown, and sometimes all night long, the employees of our agency are relentless in their dedication to a job well done. The science behind wildlife conservation is constantly evolving, and our biologists are leading the way with groundbreaking and cutting-edge techniques that the entire scientific community benefits from. If that's not enough to make you proud, then consider this. We've been doing all this since our agency's birth in 1909, without using a dime of taxpayer money. That's because the Wildlife Department is designed as a user-pay, user-benefit agency. It's sportsmen and wildlife enthusiasts who pay the bill for wildlife conservation in Oklahoma. Revenue from the sale of hunting and fishing licenses make up the majority of the agency's budget. There's also another unique way that outdoorsmen contribute financially. Each time someone buys a gun, ammunition, fishing equipment, or fuel for their boat, a small portion of the tax they pay at the register is used for wildlife conservation. But hunters and anglers don't just contribute financially. A long time ago, we recognized that sportsmen are our most effective management tool. Shaping regulations and making sure everyone complies to them has played a major role in bringing many species back from the brink of extinction to unimaginable numbers. As much as the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation has accomplished, we are positive our agency's best days are yet to come. You can see it on our faces. You can feel it with your hands. And you can hear it on the landscape. You'll find us working hard to make your state's natural resources the most healthy in the land.
We are.
We are.
We are
We are your Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation.